Greetings London and Fulham Football Club fans. This evening I'm just down on the riverbank on the Putney side, and there's only a little bit of colour up in the sky, but I fancy the walk and get a few shots. I've just seen the heron having a little chill out on the river. The water level's quite low, so I'm going to head out there and yeah, just basically have a little look along the riverbank and see if I can get a shot or two, take you on the way and share a photo if I get anything good. See you on the river, guys. It is getting fairly dark. I'm just going to whack a filter on. So I've got the case filter with, I'm thinking either with a polarizer, which I don't know, it's not going to do too much at the moment, but I'm just going to whack the 6-stop on for a little bit of a long exposure. Even though it's getting fairly dark, well, let's have a quick look. Yeah, so my shutter speed is about f8 is around 1/10 of a second. So I just want to put the 6-stop on and get some slightly longer exposures, maybe go for like around, just try different shutter speeds actually. Maybe 2 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, and just have a little play with different exposures, smooth out that water a little bit, maybe leave a little bit of texture in there, and basically just have a little look around the riverbank. It's quite a nice, there's a lovely little pattern up there as the water meanders in and out. I've just seen the heron over there on the water, so, well actually I saw him when I walked past to get down here, so he's plodding along, and sometimes he's a great element if he wants to come and jump in the shot. I got one about maybe a week or two back from, I was actually just up where I saw him tonight, but he was actually around this area, and I just grabbed one shot and then he flew off into the distance. So yeah, if he wants to come and get a little shot tonight, that'd be good. But if not, I'm just going to look to utilise the kind of the little puddles and there's some quite large rocks actually on here as well. So I think between those, try and use those as some foreground interest. All right, let's get to it. Unfortunately, I've lost all colour in the sky really. There's a tiny little bit of orange and yellow on the horizon, but not much. And it's really, really cloudy. The forecast is 100% cloud this evening, and I can see that that's coming in massively now. Over the last half an hour, the sky's changed a lot, so conditions aren't great. However, it doesn't mean to say we can't get a good shot, or at least try for one. So I'm going to take a shot here where I've got quite a cool little rock formation just in front of me. This one down here is like the start of the shot as the water comes down, and then you can see the water kind of meander up, and the sky, even just 5 minutes ago, was looking quite cool and dynamic, but unfortunately the cloud has all come in. So not so cool now. So I think tonight is a case of using it as a little bit of a scouting exercise. Have a little walk up, enjoy the activity of photography more so than probably getting the most amazing images. But we shall see. So I'll just take it down to 8 seconds. I think playing with your shutter speed is really, really influential to your shot. I'll do one more at 2.5 seconds. Yeah, the influence on your shot will be the movement or lack of it in the clouds, but also the water. Do you want to get some of those ripples and textures, or do you want to try and smooth it out like an ice rink? So I've got like a couple of different options there, and yeah, not too bad. I'm going to have a walk down the river and see what's next. Okay, I've just taken a 60-second exposure. I like how the water looks. I like the lighting down the right-hand side. The stadium looks cool with the reflection on the water. But I think I'm a little bit too far away from this rock. I like the way the water meanders around. So I want to just try and get a little bit closer in to this rock. And it might only be like a foot or so, but with a wide angle lens, that can make the distance between the camera or the start of the frame and the rock really quite a big difference. My challenge is with the angle of the rock water going up there, and to keep the right hand side of the stadium and this rock in the foreground, it's a case of trying to fit it all in. And to be honest, I don't think it's actually going to work. I think that the angle that this here is almost like a right angle for just for a metre or two, and then the water carries on going. So I think the angles don't quite work because in a way I'd rather be here. I'll get a shot here or around here, but we're not going to see the water sort of meander down and see the edge of the river, which would have been nice. I'll get this shot and just compare it with the one I took previously, and then just have a little wander on and see if I can get something that I like to incorporate. The riverbank is so creative with all these rocks and stones and everything that's down here, so it's nice to try and incorporate it if we can. Carefully put my case filter down. They are supposed to be shatter resistant, so I don't know if it's shatterproof or resistant, but either way I'll be careful with them. But right, so I'll put my 6-stop back on, which will let me get a 1-minute exposure now, which is good. Put on my 2-second timer, ta-da, and wait for 60 seconds. The camera height to the shot is really important, and I do like to get low and kind of shoot and get like the foreground interest into the shot. But you can't really see the way the river is meandering around there, because the riverbank sort of goes up and down, it fluctuates in its height. So after this shot I'm going to take one from maybe from chest height and just see how it compares, and I think that probably the higher one might be a bit better, just because it's going to show us a little bit more of the shape of the river, which I think is a nice element to include in this shot. So I'm on a 60-second exposure. The water's going to go really smooth. On the horizon I have got a little bit of kind of light blue sky, which is good for the shot, and then above it is a lot more heavy with cloud, but there is actually a little bit of colour up there. I think the light from the stadium and then also the lights down the river, there's quite an orange tint to it, so that's probably reflecting off the low cloud a little bit. So there's definitely some colour in there. If I look on this screen now, I'm seeing some blue at the top into kind of an orange and pink, and then back down into blue and then into the river. So yeah, I think that could be well worth comparing the higher and lower perspective. Okay, I'm only up to about 20 mil, so I've only zoomed in a little bit, but the rocks now are in the bottom right hand corner and just leading up towards the stadium, and the way the riverbank is going as well, it's kind of like a nice leading line pointing towards the stadium, taking our eyes very much in that direction, and then just got a few of those kind of street lights in the distance there as well. So yeah, let's get this shot. Shooting on the Z6ii, and one of the good things about that is that you can see your little timer counting down. So I've got 10 seconds left. It's also great that you can do longer than 30-second exposures, because traditionally on Nikon cameras 30-second would be the maximum. Whereas now if you're shooting in manuals you can go up to 60 and then in 30-second increments. So 60 seconds, 90, 120 and so on, up to around about 900 seconds I think. Cool, okay, it's looking all right. Well guys, for the last shot I've decided to get the 85mm lens on, and I'm shooting down the river, forgetting the stadium now, that's done for the night, and there's a really awesome kind of, what's the word, I don't know, pattern of rocks. It begins with C, it'll come back to me. And that's kind of leading us down. We've got some of the trees on the right hand side. I like the look of this shot, but what I think would make it better is to do it as a panoramic and try and get a little bit more in. So I will shoot this now on a portrait orientation. And yeah, that's looking good. I'm just going to switch to white balance. It's obviously shooting raw, you can change the look and feel and the colour and the tones and the mood of it afterwards when you edit, but you know, good practice to try and get it looking right in camera. I think my decision on this one is just to focus on the rocks, let the background blur out. But I want to get the texture of the trees in actually, so I would like to have it focused up there as well. Okay, I'm quite liking the result of that. The rocks in the foreground here are looking awesome. The riverbank has got a wicked texture to it. You can see, just as the water has obviously gone out, there's just that little thin layer of water along it, and with the street lights up in the end, it's just kind of backlighting that water and giving me a nice look to it. The 85mm is just zoomed in a little bit too much to get the whole scene in without doing a pano. I'm going to put the 24-70 on, get everything in the one frame, and that'll be the end of my shoot for this evening. So the trees and everything on the right hand side look really great. A few street lights up there, so I like the shape of this shot. So 30 seconds on that, just having a quick look on the back of the camera. The water here, nice and smooth, a little bit of motion you can see just around the rocks. Yeah, that'll be it. I think shooting down to the Putney end or down to Putney Bridge will be a nice finish hopefully to the vlog. I've got, I don't know how many, just a few shots along the river tonight of the Fulham football stadium, Craven Cottage, and I'm looking forward to being there. I'm going to be in the stadium next Saturday. They're at home to Charlton, so that'd be great to go and see inside the stadium again and see how that stand is looking. But for now, yeah, if you like the video, then feel free to hit that like button, and if you want to subscribe to the channel, feel free to do so. I'm looking to share a lot more content around London and some of my photography that I've taken, or that I like to shoot around London. So yeah, if you like it. If you want to subscribe, feel free to do so. And yeah, see you again in another video. Cheers guys, and take care. And if you're out there shooting, get out there and shoot and enjoy it.